Hi everyone, my name is Chris Carnell. I'm a co-founder at Codify, and in the early days of this program, I got to go in and meet everyone on the first evening, and we've grown to where unfortunately I don't have the pleasure of doing that. So I wanted to create a video to welcome you to Code Labs and really do two things, which is one, give you a little bit of context of why we started the program, and two, give you a little bit of advice maybe to help you be successful as well. So we started Codify about 9 years ago. My business partner, Dr. James Stapleton, and I, we come from small towns. I'm from Sikeston, Missouri, which is down in the Boot Hill, and he's from Lyons, Kansas. And really we connected on that we were interested in technology and startups, and where we grew up there wasn't a whole lot of accessibility for people who were interested in those things. And so we started a company to both help tech companies start, launch, grow, and help train the people who want to work in them. And that's what's really led to Code Labs. And we're really very fortunate that we have partners at the state and federal level that fund this program, where we're able to provide it for free and give scholarships to every single person that comes in. While it is free, it doesn't speak to the quality of it. This is definitely a very rigorous program. We're going to push you, we're going to challenge you, but at the end of the day, I promise you it's going to be very rewarding and definitely worthwhile. So what we've done is we've asked people, we've trained hundreds of people to go through the program, and then they've gone on and gotten employment. On average, people who've gone and get employment, their wages increase on annually about double. And so we've asked them, what did you do in Code Labs that you think helped set you up for success? And so I thought I would give you some of those ideas. So first things first is you have to put in the time. Duh, right? On average, what they've told us is they've spent about 20 hours a week, including the class time, coding, and that's really one of the main things that helped them. And so, you can't code for an hour before the session and then come to class and learn and do that every week and really expect to succeed. Really, if you do that, you will fail. And so what we encourage you is to carve out some time each week. Dedicate, say, hey, Mondays and Thursdays, I know I have these sessions, so on Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, these are the times and hours that I'm going to dedicate to continue to learn the things that we've learned this past week and to continue to expand on that. So putting in the time to the program is an obvious way that you're going to learn and grasp these concepts. Number two thing is this is a flipped classroom model. So it's not traditional education where we come and just teach you. But what we're going to do is we have concepts, we have videos and things that you'll be expected to go and learn on your own. And then you come to the group setting, and that's really when we'll work together. So a code coach will go over what you learned prior to that, and then we'll work in a group on exercises and additional applications and eventual group projects where you're building the things that you've gone through. But the best thing that you can do in that is at least with learning, is through repetition. And so here's an example. So let's say you have videos to watch and they're due on, you need to do this by Thursday. So I'd encourage you to watch the video and just sit there and watch it. And then go back through the video, maybe press play, press pause, code what they just did, press play, watch, press pause, code what they just did. And then after that, try to code it without watching the video. So I'm going to repeat that. So a real good thing to do is, let's say that you have videos that you need some work done by Thursday. So you can, one, just watch the video, just sit there and listen to it, take it all in. Two, watch the video and code along. So you press pause after watching it, do a little bit of coding, press play, watch, press pause, code a little bit, and then afterwards try to code without the video. And then go a little bit further. So let's say, for example, you're learning how to put a button on a website. We can dive deeper on some of those concepts. So instead of just blazing through and say, okay, let's move on to the next concept, how can you play with that button? How can you make it change colors? How can you change the words? How can you change the size? How can you change where it is on the website? How can you change what it does when you press on it? So all of the different concepts that you do learn, there's so much more to them. And so I encourage you that as you learn them, build repetition in by going in deeper on those concepts and as you learn them. So repetition, repetition, repetition. The third thing that I would say is collaboration. So obviously time is correlated with learning and grasping these concepts. The more time that you spend on this, the more you're going to learn it. But there's research that has actually started to come out about this, and there's an even stronger correlation of individuals grasping these concepts, especially computer programming in this type of learning environment, with the number of people that you engage with. And so, there's this misconception sometimes that coding is you're in your basement alone, just coding alone, and that's how coding is as an everyday working professional, and that couldn't be further from the truth. The truth is that computer programming is a very collaborative process. Everything from product designers to product managers to business owners to even other developers on the team, you're going to be working together and solving problems together. And so by design, what we've done is we've made this a group. We've built in groups to where you'll be working with other people, learning from them. There may be things that you're working through and can't figure out that they've learned. Maybe there's things that they're having troubles with that you've had insight on, and you can provide a better analogy to them to be helpful. So not only are you going to have code coaches that are here for you, that are here to be helpful and be as supportive as possible, I would encourage you to engage with those that are in your cohorts, and you're going to make pretty good friends, and obviously a great networking opportunity as people go on and flourish into their careers. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, this program over the next 10 months at least that you'll be in, as you stick along with it, think about the people that you'll be with, the code coaches. Some of them are full-time here at Codify. Some of them are full-time at other employers, tech companies, and they're doing this part-time just to give back to the community. This is ultimately an interview process. You're showing them, hey, this is how willing and dedicated I am to learning this type of thing and getting into a new career or a new career pathway. So engaging with other people is by far the best thing that you can do as you're going through this program. So there's two things. Those are the things that people said that they did that really set them up for success. But there's two things you can also do as well, or at least be aware about. So there's a term, if you haven't heard it, look it up. It's called imposter syndrome. It's the feeling of you feel like you're a fraud. You feel like you're in a place that you shouldn't be. You feel so uncertain about the things that you're doing. You don't know how to do something. Why are you doing this? Or why are they trusting me with this? Or I'm way out of my element. I shouldn't be here. Here's the truth. A majority of computer programmers feel this way. And it's completely normal and it's completely fine. Technology changes. Think about where technology was 20 years ago and where it is today. Everything from devices and hardware to the software to how we use things as computers and phones and tablets to Twitter on your refrigerator. Technology changes constantly. There's thousands of different computer programming languages that are out there. There's always going to be things that you don't know. There's always going to be people that know more than you. And that's okay. And so if you do start to get that feeling, you're especially going to have that feeling here at the very beginning of you don't understand the things, sit with it for a little bit. So the best thing you can do is obviously dive deeper and have a bit of curiosity, and instead of being frustrated of, man, I don't know this, of having of curiosity around, why doesn't that work? And how can I find a solution to this? And so really just a change in thinking, a change in mindset, a paradigm shift in the way that you go about solving problems. So speaking of solving problems, one of the best ways to do that is just by Google, a search engine. Some of the best developers that I know, some just right here next to me, they are really good at Google. A lot of people think that, great computer programmers, what they do is they just put their computer down and they just start coding, and they code an application and they build this entire system. They remember it all from scratch, and that couldn't be true. That couldn't be further from the truth, really. You start to remember things as you go along, but really the computer programming is solving problems and figuring out things that you don't know how to do. And so it's going online and searching. Other people have figured out ways to do things. And so literally, if you get an error, copy paste that, put it into Google, and figure out others that have gone across that before, and you will definitely find insight. If you can't find the answers when you do something like that, come reach out in Slack. Speaking of collaboration, it's very intimidating to ask questions. I understand that. But I ask for you to be the brave person. If you do have questions, you can't figure something out, definitely post in Slack. This is a community of people. We're all in the same boat. About 70% of the people that we bring into this program have never coded before. So as simple of the questions that you think you're asking, I guarantee you someone else does have them. So just the fact that you're willing to ask the question and someone is going to be there to help you answer that question, there's going to be someone else that had that same question that you would have helped out just by asking. So to my last point, as you go to solving these problems, computer programming is a very mentally taxing type of work. And so you're going to find yourself struggling sometimes where you can't find the solution, where you can't find it on Google, where there's others who are saying, hey man, I'm trying to figure out the same thing. The worst thing that you can do is just bang your head against the wall and spend hours on something and you just stick with it. The best thing that you can do is step away. Take breaks. Take a walk around the block, go play with your dog, take a nap, go to sleep for the night, watch a show, play a game, do something. Just step away from the problem for a little bit. And what that helps you to do is it helps your mind take off of that and then come back to it. Usually that really helps you. I couldn't tell you how many times I've heard developers say they woke up at 2 a.m. with, oh, that's how you solved that problem. So take breaks. It's definitely good for your mental health. It's good for your physical health as well. So as you go through Code Labs, you're going to be working a lot. Some of you all do have full-time jobs, part-time jobs. You do have families. This is going to be a sacrifice. You're going to be spending a lot of time in this, a lot of effort, especially if you want to be successful. So the best thing that you can do is when you are making a sacrifice of spending more time is that you do make sure that you're giving yourself breaks when they are needed and when they're due. So you are beginning on a long journey, a worthwhile journey. What we've done is, if you look at the broad spectrum of learning how to code, you've got everything from massive online courses that's self-paced, you've got boot camps, you've got vocational schools, and then you can go get a PhD. You've got this broad spectrum. We kind of see ourselves in the middle. So we see ourselves as further than a boot camp. It takes a little bit more time. We go deeper into some of the concepts, but we're not as it doesn't cost as much time, and it's not full-time like a vocational or traditional education. And we work with employers. So no one cohort has ever looked the same for us because we get feedback from tech employers to then put things into our program to make sure that by the time you get to the end, you're going to be able to build a full application. You're going to get plenty of experience with this. So you'll be building on knowledge. As you get through this, again, I want to reemphasize there's going to be things and times where you feel like you don't understand things, and that's completely okay. We're here, just continue to build upon it, and eventually sometimes it just takes a little bit for light bulbs to click on. Stick with it. It's tough, but you've got a group of people here in the same boat with you, and a group of people here at Codify and the part-time code coaches that are rallying for you, and I promise you want nothing but the best for you. So good luck, work hard, do everything you can, and we hope that we can play a small part in your journey into the tech industry. Thanks.